Debs.
Lord, how you been since last time?
I'm doing well. I've met new people. I've had some fabulous conversations with you, Debs. I always feel better when I've had a chance to reconnect with you.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't really seen you. It's like ships that pass in the night, and you miss that connection, don't you?
You do. I'm trying to get more time release from my probation officer, but
they're not letting you off.
It's all these inappropriate comments I keep making, Debs.
Oh Lord, what are we going to do with you,
Don't you worry, I'll still be drawing pictures on the flip chart walls to cheer myself up.
Oh my God, I love it. And see if anybody can guess, eh?
Because Debs, here's the thing, right? When you have lots of pressure and you have bits and bobs that are on your radar, the team and the camaraderie and the communication, my gosh, it can help lighten the load.
Yeah, it really can. And, you know, as we've been talking to loads of people through this series, we have our final guest, actually, that's coming along to chat with us about what it really means to maintain that level of mental health and resilience when working in those high-stress environments. And I think it was around self-awareness he talks a lot about, which is brilliant, and then the recovery strategies. So shall we have a listen in?
Fantastic. I cannot wait to hear from Dave Stokes. From the moment we met this guy, he just brought such a fresh energy, and it was brilliant working with him. So I can't wait to hear his thoughts.
Okay, let's have a listen.
Hello, everyone. As you know, we have been using our series this month to talk about healthy coping mechanisms. And we've had a number of guests come along and chat to us about how they manage their healthy coping mechanisms in an environment which is highly stressful, super pressured, and they never know what they're going to get day to day. So we have been delighted to have Dave Stokes with us, and he's going to talk us through what he does, how long he's been doing it for, and then also why is this topic really important to him? Because he's been fundamental, along with some other people, in shaping the material that we ran for the teams across his organisation, and he's carrying that on. So I'm delighted that he's joining us today. So Dave, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Give us, our listeners, a little bit about who are you, what do you do?
So I work for Network Rail. Mm-hmm. I work in the control centre for the Sussex route. And I'm a network delivery manager, which essentially means I oversee the shift on duty.
Okay.
So, and we deal with everything that for operations that are outside of the normal running of a train service. Okay. So whether somebody's dropped something or something more serious has happened. Mm-hmm. So that's me in the control centre. I started on the railway quite a while ago as a train driver.
Okay.
And then before moving into control just 8 or 9 years ago.
Wow, okay. So during that time, you must have seen a huge difference between how we approach talking about our mind health, mental health, healthy coping mechanisms compared to back then, way back then. It sounds like ancient. What have been the biggest differences that you've noticed?
I think one of the big things really is we have got more comfortable with saying when we're not okay.
Nice.
Which is good, because normally we just hide that and stiff upper lip, and it's not something we don't. I think previously we just didn't listen to ourselves, our bodies, and our needs, whereas now that's a bit more normalised. I also think the focus has gone from not just physical health, but mental health. And that's almost like we need to get our mental health in focus, and then physical health comes afterwards. So I think the whole view on what health is as a bigger picture, that's what's changed. And I think the way people carry themselves, conversations, how we speak, how we conduct ourselves, has definitely been a massive change.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And I think you're right. And we certainly saw that in the rooms. You've been involved in the workshops that we were doing as well. And I thought it was really great that the people in the room weren't sure what they were coming into. It was very different for them because we were talking about not the process, not the here's a framework. It was more about how our body reacts when we're in a stressful situation. Your observations in the room would be good to see, because we had some really good people that opened up and shared, which we were really surprised at. But what was it that enabled that to happen for them? One, they're obviously getting more used to talking about it, but what else helped in that situation?
I think that we tend to judge ourselves quite harshly.
We do.
And we would reflect that if we're not able to do something, that's on us, like we've chosen that. But actual fact, what excited me about what you delivered was, well, actually, let's look at the mechanics of this.
Yes.
What's the structure? How do you respond? Independently of whether you're in tune with yourself and independently of whether you understand you're at a high stress level, actually, your body does react in a certain way. And I think when we took away kind of that personalized part of it to reintroduce it later, so that people could see, oh, this isn't a reflection on me. This isn't me with either poor performance or look, I can't cope.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going through. And what was really good, I think what hit home, sometimes we're stronger than other times, and because of all sorts of outside influences, it's work related or home related or whatever it is.
Yes.
Not even what we've been eating.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that when you're strong, you recognize what's happening to someone, and then you can support someone that you see they're exhibiting those parts of stress and actually think, oh, they need a bit of help.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's what hit home. It was, you will be going through a process. Actually, and if I feel like I'm not, I might be able to help someone that is.
Yes, absolutely. And you could see that and you could feel that, because the environment you're in, as an outsider, we have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. And I know we came down and saw the rock and listened to people's stories as they shared. But again, it was mind-blowing as to how you don't know what's coming through and you have to just react. So when you're thinking about you and your teams and the role that you play, how do you even get people, if you like, in inverted commas, ready to deal with the unknown and then cope with it?
So, I mean, there's different aspects to that. Part of that, having people able to kind of sit there waiting for the potential event to happen whilst being focused. Part of that's just training.
Right, yeah.
But another part of that is engagement.
Yes.
Not just somebody sitting quietly waiting. I guess I liken it to being in a boxing ring.
Oh, okay.
Control center. You're going to get punched.
Yes.
And you just don't know when you're going to get punched, how often and how hard.
Right.
And control can be like that. You're sat there the whole time anticipating the punch. So I think it's about people realizing you're not doing this on your own. There's a team of us and we're delivering that together. And so you're able to support each other depending on what stage you're going through at the time.
Yeah, sure. And for you, how do you find you cope with situations? What do you do to look after your mind health? As you said, if we look after that, then the rest of it sort of helps. But how do you deal with that?
So if we come straight into us potentially having a big incident, and for us a big incident on the railway, I don't need to describe that. Just think anything, you will be aware in the news when we have a big incident. What we really need is for muscle memory to kick in. And you asked the question, how do we prepare people?
Yeah.
Well, that's with people understanding that the first 5 or 10 minutes of a major incident, you know exactly what you have to do.
Right, okay.
So you're set up with a certain amount of tasks, people to contact, safety mechanisms to put in place, people to respond. So there's a process. So that helps focus the mind. When it comes to preparing yourself, that's a really tough question because it's much bigger than being sat there. It's so for me, before I go to bed, I've got all my stuff ready for the next morning. That's when it starts.
Right, got you.
I go to bed at a good time. I try to relax before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
I do the things I need to do to try and get a good sleep.
Yes, sure.
And then obviously then you're coming into work. And so it's a whole process. In amongst that, exercise is so important.
Yeah,
and
okay.
It's not just about being fit. It's about getting your body pumping and getting the chemicals moving around so that your body can balance out.
Yeah.
We can often just be anxious and stressed because our body needs to feel a bit of physical stress to be able to burn off some of those chemicals or use them in the appropriate way.
Yes.
So it's a big one. It's from preparing to have a good sleep, having the shift, being respectful of everyone and being understanding of everyone, because when you're really stressed, people can react quickly and emotionally.
Yes.
All the way down to when you get home, having a walk or whatever your exercise is, or finding that way to de-stress. So it's a much bigger sort of holistic preparation.
Yeah, and I think that's so important. Like it is as you said, preparation. And I love the fact you were saying about it's the muscle memory as well. So it's like we can train and train and train, and then it kicks in when we're needing it. But it's that ability to then recover afterwards. And how do you do that? And we had loads of different people giving us hints and tips, didn't we? We had, what was it? Touch the grass. We had go and eat a big curry. We had so many things around what we do. And the biggest thing for me was people who went outside, people who went and did, I don't know, fishing, or they went for a walk and just got back in touch with nature, which for me was just lovely to see, because you don't think that helps. But it really does, doesn't it? When you get outside of your four walls, I think it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does. I think the key there is, and if people are going to take anything away from this, you've got to switch off.
Yes.
You as an engine, you can't keep revving at a certain level. At some point, you've just got to switch off and let everything settle and recover. Yeah. Because danger is you don't recover, and then you come back into work in an unrecovered state. And then it doesn't take very much to get you in a more stressed state. And a stressed state isn't a bad thing. We all have that, and that's part of our everyday jobs, and will always be. But it's how, as you said right at the start, it's how prepared we are for that. Yeah. So having a walk outside, the things that you normally do all through the day, having your phone on and being connected like that, give that a break. We can be so focused on our job that we don't have that moment of interaction with people that isn't work related or have an element of stress to it. And I think can't underestimate the importance of interacting with someone else in that relaxed environment.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I think just switching off, if you can get to that point where you can reset to come back in.
Got you.
One of the issues we have, we can quite often deal with traumatic incidents. They're harder to switch off from. Yeah. And so you'll come back in and it'll be a little bit more difficult. I guess that's down then for us as a team to recognise that previous day we had a traumatic incident and we still need to talk about that. Put people at ease. If people then focus on their own performance, they tend to then see, did I deliver it as I should? People can be overcritical of themselves, and I think that it's easy to get caught up in being overcritical of yourself, and it's hard to recover from that. Yeah,
that is so true. So I think that's such an important point as well. I mean, obviously you've learnt to do that over years, and I'm intrigued as to how do you maybe help support somebody that is this their first experience of something traumatic like that? And I know you do tons of training, but newer into their career, how do you support your team and the different, I suppose, experiences and levels of wisdom within your team to be able to cope healthily when something big does happen, or not even so big, but something happens?
I think, so what I would do is take some time with someone, take them away from the environment they're in. You've seen the control room. It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of desks.
There is.
Every desk has got around 8 screens. It's a pretty intense environment. So I take them away from that and talk to people with no end time of the conversation. It might be that I've only got 30 minutes, but the reality is when I'm talking to someone, I don't want them to think, Dave's only got 30 minutes.
Yeah, and you're
I've got as long time as you need, to go through. And during that conversation, it would be, would reflect on the incident and hopefully what I would be doing is encouraging that person. We of course put them in a role so they can do the job.
Yeah, of course.
But it's often when we're recovering a train service, it can be very, very difficult. And people will think, I'm the problem. I'm the reason that didn't recover.
Yeah, got you.
And it's giving an assurance that actually you're not the reason. It's much bigger than just you. And having some time to reset. And like you said, outside, what I've done sometimes for people is I take them outside and we'll walk around the building 5 or 6 times. I think something like 6 or 8 times around the building is a mile. So
okay, I like that.
we'll do a walk like that. And often when you're out walking, just the physical movement just helps you then feel freer in your thinking.
Yeah.
And it can make that conversation easier when you're sat opposite, like we are now.
Yeah.
When you're sat opposite each other, it can be a bit more intense,
yes.
even though you're trying to make it feel relaxed. So I try and bring that base level of stress down, keep an assurance. I honestly say to people, when you get home from work, I want you to be the best version of you.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be the drained version of you and there's nothing left to give to your family, because the important bit in our lives is our family, or what we're doing when we're at home or outside of work. So part of this is, and we often deal with pretty difficult situations, is making sure that when people step out of the building, they're not carrying the weight of that.
And I think that's super important. And you talk with, and you did when we were in the room, and you were sharing some of your bits of wisdom with everybody. You talk with such passion about this topic in particular. And I know this might be a bit of a curveball question. I didn't give you as a thing, but I'm intrigued to find out, what was it that first focused you in on the importance of looking after yourself well in order to be your best? Was there a moment in time? Was there something that you thought, oh, wow, I need to do something for me? What was it? Because you do talk with such passion, which is why you're sort of running these workshops to everyone else. After we left, you're continuing that. What is it about this topic? Where did that come from for you?
I think part of that is seeing, it's really devastating to see people that you manage get to a position where they actually can't reduce that baseline.
Right. Oh, okay.
And so they're always quite high, and you're supporting and helping that. And I find that you can reach that point, and it's really hard to get back down. And then it's not just hard at work; it's hard at home.
Yeah.
And I find that difficult to see someone struggle with that. And so I'll give them that time. I think I'm passionate about it because I see a lot of people, or previously people, just suck it up, get on with it. If you can't do your job, go and find another job.
Right.
And I sort of despise that. That's really wrong. I think I'm passionate about it because I'm in a stronger position. And when you're in a position of strength, you should be helping other people get up to a position of strength.
Yeah.
And I really believe it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
it's not okay to fight it on your own and to think I can just do this on my own, because you can't.
You can't do it, no.
Even if that is the person you're speaking to doesn't know what you're dealing with, but you are connecting with someone outside of that incident.
And I think that's so refreshing to hear, because it's like you said, it's okay to not be okay. And as you said, 25 years ago, it was like, man up, get a grip, whatever it might have been. And I suppose the shift now is more people are, I suppose, open to talking about it, which encourages others to say it's okay. And as their leader, I suppose you've created that safe environment for them to be able to do that. So if you were sort of giving some encouragement to maybe people listening in that are, new into managing teams or wanting to create that safe space, what would you ask them to consider to create a space that people feel okay to talk and know it's okay not to be okay?
Something I learned very quickly as a manager is, you think there's two people having trouble, they'll just sort it out.
Right.
That doesn't happen. They don't sort it out. You absolutely, as a manager, need to make an intervention and settle that. You can't just let something work its way out, because it causes stress that people bring home.
Sure.
And further to that analogy, if you're going to brush something under the carpet or under the rug, the more times you do that, all you do is you put a mound of dirt under that rug, and at some point you're going to trip over that.
That's true.
So these things have to be dealt with.
Yes.
As a new manager, don't shy away from dealing with difficult situations.
Right. Okay.
It just will get more difficult.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling really confident when you're dealing with something that's negative, whether that's somebody displaying a negative attribute or they're behaving improperly, or whether somebody is, you can see they're totally withdrawn into themselves and you think, oh, this is going to be a difficult conversation.
Yeah.
You're their manager, or you are a manager.
Yeah.
You need to step up.
Yeah.
You need to feel that strength in yourself to have that conversation. And those conversations, actually, they're not as bad as you think. They're okay.
Yeah.
The most valuable thing that you will ever give anyone is your time.
Yes, that's very true.
Pay rise, the joy of a pay rise. And I'd like one too.
Hey, we'd all like one, wouldn't we?
It doesn't last long.
It doesn't, does it?
And I think that the biggest thing is when your manager, who's very busy, gives you half an hour of their time.
Yes, yeah.
And I guarantee most times you'll go home and say, oh, I had a good conversation with my manager today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And listen. So I try not to go in with an agenda. I may have a couple of bullet points.
Of course.
But don't go in with an agenda. When somebody tells you I've got nothing to say, still give them that 30 or 40 minutes. Some of the most meaningful and powerful conversations started with, Dave, I'm fine, mate. I've got nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
So, to new managers, existing managers, any managers, your time is the most valuable thing you've got.
Yes.
As you give it to people, for people to feel supported and encouraged.
Yeah, I think I'm with you all of that time. We always say, because then they feel valued, they feel that they matter, they know you are busy, but the fact you've done that, and I just think that is so. I wish more people would do it sometimes, going from there. But I think when you sort of sat and said, okay, this is really super important and I'm going to be involved in this project and I want to roll this out as well. So you're continuing the work. What was it? Because you agreed to run the network across the network. Thank you very much for that. So what else made it really important for you to want to be the person or the people as part of that small core team that are rolling this on across the network? Why was it important to you to be able to do that?
So it's something I don't want to drop it.
Right.
And priorities change.
Yes, of course.
And I didn't want that to happen. I'm in a position where I can appoint people and I can support people to help deliver this. So I felt like it's right that I do it. Yeah. Before I was a train driver, I was an aircraft engineer and I did that for 13 or 14 years.
Yeah.
So when what you were delivering was described to me, and it was described in the mechanics of how you physically respond, that really resonated with me.
Good.
And I liked the way you lifted out of me the responsibility of how I react. Oh, actually, my body's going to go through this.
Yes.
And I really liked that. And I just didn't want that to stop. I didn't want that momentum to be lost. So one of the other people we delivered this with was Nina.
Yes.
And Nina, we're about to deliver another one of these courses
Brilliant.
in the next couple of months.
Oh, I just think it's amazing. And you're right, because, and I love the fact it connected with that, the way your brain works. There is a process, there's a mechanism, which our bodies are ultimately. And to be able to raise the awareness of that to others, I suppose, because not everybody has that awareness. As you said right at the beginning, not everybody is self-aware enough to know how to cope with different things, and experience is our biggest teacher sometimes, isn't it? So, and I think you've given us so many different things to consider just in that. So I really appreciate you sharing that. And I suppose out of all of that, there's loads we could take actually, Dave. But if there was one, I'm going to ask you for one call to action for our listeners. What would you ask of our listeners? What would be your call to action as a result of being able to cope healthily that you would want them to consider?
I think having respect. And that respect is for yourself and for the people that you have an impact on.
I really love that. And I know, we had a bit of a pressure, if you say, because we had 3 takes of this, didn't we? Because your poor laptop has died. So I hope you get it fixed. And I just want to say a huge, huge thank you. And I hope you have a good rest of the day as well. So thank you very much, Dave. See you next time.
Thanks, Debs. Take care. Bye.
And you. Bye.
So, Laura, what do you reckon?
Oh, we all need a bit of Dave Stokes in our life. He's a good guy.
It was really good, wasn't it? Yeah, it was really good. And what he talked about was just, I think, really incredible, because I really like that whole bit about inner resilience. And he talked really well about the basics around eating healthily, making sure you get fresh air, all of those things that we know are important to us. Mental fitness, and as well as physical fitness, so that's strength that we have, not just from a physical point of view, but also mentally. And I think the way that he used the analogy that we use a lot, you put your own oxygen mask on first before you put others on. And I think that is back to basics, really, isn't it? And how often do we forget to do that? But I really enjoyed the way he said time is a massive resource, and how do we use it wisely and well, both for us in work, but also outside of work as well. So, and that self-awareness before a crisis, knowing what you can do, what you're capable of, and knowing how to recover from it was just amazing.
Yeah. And Dev, it's interesting, when we had the joy, the privilege of working with the rail operation centre teams, us on our team, and the camaraderie and the energy that you could see. And that's what then gives you those brake pads, when you've got things that squeal in and demand, attention, because there's some very difficult situations that they deal with.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I've been running, like yourselves, like all of us, the team, lots of leadership and team workshops at the moment. And camaraderie is a word that keeps coming up.
It is
about
connection.
What makes a great team environment, and it's the chit chat, and it's the knowing each other, spotting how people are doing. So as you said, it's the basic stuff, but when time is pressured or you have a stressful job, those things can kind of go out the window, but they've got to be in first as part of the furniture.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's up to, who their leader manager is. And he was saying about how do you create the right environment for that? And it's not just him on his own, but there's a team that create that. And I just think, that you're right, that camaraderie is what keeps them, helps them, supports them, enables them to move through whatever it is they're having to deal with. In a way that means we're learning through our wisdom, I suppose, our lessons learned from before. How do we engage with people that have never experienced this type of environment before? And I think, his preparation for uncertainty, we just never know. But that physical, mental, emotional and spiritual, which is the 4 cornerstones that make us a human, we really do have to focus on them so that we can cope healthily when we need to.
Beautifully put. So in light of that, come on, coach, what would be your call to action? So we take it from wishful thinking into something that makes a difference.
I think, when Dave said, be honest about how you're feeling, about your mental health. For me, that would be, I suppose, linked to that would be my call to action. If you're feeling out of sorts or you're feeling a bit not with it, don't hide it. We mask it a lot at time, but know who you can go to and say, look, I'm really struggling, or this is just not working, or this is how I'm feeling. But name the emotion, name the feeling can make a huge difference. And please don't say, no, I'm fine, because you're not.
Yeah. Thanks, Debs. My share the secret would be, you know someone who has been saying, I'm feeling stressed at the moment or a bit overwhelmed. Get them to listen to this. There are some such strong characters who are out there behind the scenes holding it all together. And, not every hero wears a cape, and sometimes those heroes need a bit of support as well. So it's okay to not be okay, because we're humans. So that would be my share the secret.
Nice. Oh, I love that.
I love that too. Now, Debs.
Yes, Lord.
I've got my wellness plan in place.
Yes.
I've written my briefing for the team about how we're going to create camaraderie and we're going to shift our culture on.
Yeah.
And then my 18-month-old has just vomited all over the page.
Love that, Lord.
We are going to be focusing in our next 4-part mini-series. How do you make working parenting work? Yes. What does that mean to be able to handle all those shifting priorities, the changing identities, the very simple, it sounds simple, but the very practical thing around time management? And I cannot wait to get your views, Debs, because you've been working as a parenting coach for many, many years. So I cannot wait to get a bit of an insight into how do you make working parenting, how do you make it work these days?
Yeah. And I think it's such a hot topic, and I cannot wait, because I'm very privileged to hear from both sides, the mums, the dads, the partners that have got their grandparents looking after their children, and everything in between, and the manager. We've got so much richness coming from the people that I've had the privilege to work from, and I get to see babies as well.
Oh, you get to see babies.
Because they bring them with them, or they have them on the screen, and because in reality that's life, right? So, but you can't necessarily bring your baby into a boardroom. But
no,
so it's a good topic to talk about.
Yeah. Oh yeah, can't wait. And of course, that is the ultimate human edge, Debs.
Yes, it is.
I mean, surely that is the preserve, even in 1,000 years' time.
Yeah. Yes.
The act of having a human baby. That's
Yes. No robot, Law. No robot here. No.
So we got to make it work. Otherwise, what's all this legacy for? Who are we creating the workplaces for if we've got no babies to come in and secure the tax pipeline? Enjoy work.
I love that. Oh, it's going to be such a good topic, Law. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh, and thanks again to Dave Stokes, Chris Parsons and Lee Everest, who have been incredible guests.
Tom Kircher as well.
Tom Kircher, of course. How can I forget Tom?
Yeah. It's been good, hasn't it?
Yeah, really good.
Well, right. You make sure you're looking after your resilience as well, I hope.
Yes,
and
Debs.
Looking after yourself. Otherwise, I'll be checking in on you.
I will. And don't you worry, I'm not going to go off and have more babies. I'm not going to relax that much.
All right then. That's okay. That's good to know. Yeah.
Oh, well, have a great
good one. And you, lovely. Love you. Bye.
We hope you've enjoyed this podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Email us at contact@secretsfromacoach.com or follow us on Insta or Facebook. If you're a Spotify listener, give us a rating, as it's easier for people to find us. And if you want to know more, visit our website, www.secretsfromacoach.com, and sign up for our newsletter. Here to cheer you on and help you thrive in the ever-changing world of work.